Hey, Giants fans, welcome back to the Empire State Sports Report, hosted by me, Adrianna, also known as New York Giants fangirl on social media. This podcast is brought to you by Believe Network and FanDuel Sportsbook, where you can get all of the best odds for your bets. You guys know me. I already placed some bets for the upcoming season, and one of them on FanDuel was Malik Neighbors to get 1,500 plus receiving yards. That's right. You guys know I have faith in Malik. The guy's a beast. He's going to do it. No questions asked. So make sure you check out FanDuel. Let's go ahead and talk about the Giants because there's a football game on Saturday. They're taking on the Bills, and I can't wait. Now, Brian Daboll did his usual Brian Daboll thing where I actually was laughing. He made me laugh based on some of the comments that he said during his press conference today. So basically, here's the plan, is that they're going to play Jaxson Dart. That's the extent of the plan that we know. Daboll was asked 5 different ways by 5 different reporters, and that was what was making me laugh, is he was like, go ahead, ask me a different way on what we think we're going to do about the players. I want to hear how creative you can be, which I was like, oh, Daboll has a sense of humor. Who knew? Anyway, so that's what we know for sure, is that Jaxson Dart is going to be playing. When it comes to the rest of the starters, he said that they were going to decide after practice today. And I guarantee the reason why he said that is because they fly to Buffalo tomorrow, which means he's not going to speak to the media likely before the game. So he's not going to tell them his plan, which whatever. I could go on and on about this. I just don't think that it is like there's no game planning or anything from preseason. So why does it matter if you tell us about injuries or about who's going to play? He also said that it doesn't matter what the Bills are going to do. He's not going to base his decision based off of what the Bills are doing. Now, Sean McDermott said that they are going to play some starters. We don't know for how long. We don't know when, but I am under the impression that the Giants are not going to play starters. I think that there's a possibility that we might see a couple like JMS, like Cordell Flott, maybe a few other guys, Abdul Carter, but I don't think we're going to see the starting offense and the starting defense as a whole. We're not seeing Andrew Thomas, obviously. We're not seeing Dexter Lawrence. We're not seeing Russell Wilson. Like, I really think that is all going to be for next week. So we'll see how that goes. But with that being said, there are a couple things that I'm focused on during this game. So I wanted to share them with you guys, and we'll just do a mini episode here and talk through what I'm excited to watch on Saturday. So let's start with the offense. We know Jaxson Dart is playing, right? So when it comes to Jaxson Dart, the couple things that I think are most important for me, for you, for all of us to focus on with Dart are the following. Number one, does he continue to slide? Because in 10 practices that I was at, I saw him slide once. Now, they weren't tackling, so obviously that's part of it. But the reason I bring up the sliding is this. When you're in a real game, in a competitive atmosphere where your focus is to win the game, and you start to take off with the ball and you have guys running at you, are you prepared enough to get down on the ground if you're not close enough to go out of bounds? Are you making that quick decision to say, I need to slide, instead of throwing the ball away, instead of risking an interception, instead of throwing the ball into the ground, instead of, running out of bounds again if you're too far? So the quick thinking and the processing is something that I really want to see from Jaxson Dart, because he's shown that he can do it, right? We saw it in practice. So when it comes to the real thing, which preseason isn't the real thing, but you know what I mean? It's the next step to get there. Does he make those smart decisions again? Is he capable of saying in that immediate snap second, I have to get down right now. I have to avoid injury. I can't barrel into these guys, etc. So that's one of the things that I want to see from Jaxson Dart. The next thing is, again, with the processing, but this time when it comes to his reads, because we saw him do it a bit during camp. Again, he's not getting sacked. He's not getting tackled. It's a different atmosphere when you're in a game and 300-pound men are finally rushing at you, and they are going to take your ass to the ground if you don't move. So I want to know is, when he's dealing with that pressure, can he get through the reads still? Now, I don't have any expectation that he's going to be perfect. If he throws an interception, it's probably going to happen. If he throws the ball away, if he throws the ball into the dirt and gets an intentional grounding, if he, makes decisions that aren't the best, he's going to learn from all of them. So I don't care about those things. But what I want to see is, in a game situation, can you still get through those reads? 50%, if not more of the time, right? Like if you're not getting through those reads on a regular basis, and again, we're not pushing the panic button if he doesn't do it in the first preseason game, okay? But these are the things to look for. If, you're really into football and you want to start evaluating these guys and, you're wondering about Jaxson Dart's future and whether or not he can improve upon things, this is something that's going to be really important as to whether or not Jaxson Dart is a successful quarterback in the NFL. The processing is really important. It was a concern coming out of college. So like I said, he did it during camp, but now can he do it during preseason? And the last thing that I'm going to focus on when it comes to Jaxson Dart during this game is he making smart decisions? And when I say that, I mean, if he sees the cornerback dropping down and running within this close to his wide receiver, is he going to throw the ball there, or does he know that that window is closing now and it's too late? Is he going to get the ball out quickly enough and make smart decisions when it comes to throwing the football to a wide receiver in those tight windows? Again, when he talked about that first pick six on day one of practice, he said, I saw the cornerback closing in. I knew it was going to be a tight window and I wanted to see if I could make it. Again, that's fine. Make those mistakes, but don't do it 10 times in the game, right? So I'm sure it's going to happen a couple times during this game, but does he get it under control, right? If it happens on the first throw of the game, does he get out of his head and still be that aggressive quarterback that he's known for being? Does he make the decision better the second time and say, all right, I see him closing in, I'm going to another receiver, or I'm going to take off, or I'm going to throw the ball away? Can he make those smart decisions during a game in the NFL when, again, those windows close faster? So those are my focuses with Jaxson Dart. If you guys have anything different, drop them in the comments, because I know a lot of us are just excited to finally see him out there playing in a game that's not against the Giants, so we can actually get a good idea of what to expect with this kid. And again, if he throws a pick six, if he throws an interception, let's collectively not lose our minds, okay? It's preseason. He's learning. He's not the starter. Russell Wilson is the starter this season. On to the next. Again, a lot of this I'm kind of just basing off of like what I'm assuming Daboll is going to do. So I think that we're probably going to see a little bit of Jaylen Hyatt. We might not see any Jaylen Hyatt, but if he's on the field, he's a guy that I'm going to be watching because he has a real opportunity here to step it up in year 2 or year 3 at this point. He's got, no, it's year 2. No, it's year 3. Oh my God, you guys, I'm losing it. I think it's year 3. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He has a new quarterback, so he has this opportunity now. He put on all this weight this offseason. He's got a really good rapport with Russell Wilson. But if he's in with Jaxson Dart or Jameis Winston, does he have good body language? Does he still look like he's interested in being out there? Is he having a problem if he's on the field, but Russell Wilson's not because he only practiced with Russell Wilson and the starters? Like, these are things that I don't want to see from him, right? I want to see the good attitude. I want to see you ready to make some plays on the ball. If the ball comes your way, you're ready, prepared, you're going to catch the ball and you're going to make a play from it. Like, these are the things that I want to see from Jaylen Hyatt if we see him out there. The other wide receivers that I'm excited about watching, one of them is definitely little Jordan Humphrey, and the second one is Montreal Washington. Especially knowing that we're going to see Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart has thrown the ball a lot to both of those wide receivers. I think that him and Montreal Washington have formed a really great connection. Washington's has made a lot of good plays in camp. A lot of them have come from great balls from Jaxson Dart. So I want to see that continue in a game. Again, when you're in a game scenario, can you take it a step further than things that we saw in camp? So I'm excited about those two guys. I think they're going to be really fun to watch. Obviously, that wide receiver position is up for grabs. So is it going to be little Jordan Humphrey? Is it going to be Montreal Washington? Or is it even going to be Bo Collins, a guy who was having a really good camp who unfortunately is dealing with some sort of injury? Again, no one knows what it is because God forbid Daboll tell us what he's dealing with. You know, he's been on the side the last couple of practices. So is he actually going to be in the game? And if he's in the game, does he have a better showing than someone like Washington or Jordan Humphrey? So things to look out for. I think the wide receiver competition is really fun. And obviously it's just going to be exciting to watch. And I think Saturday is going to be the real beginning of who we think is going to battle it out for that wide receiver position. The last two players that I'm focused on watching in offense, number one is Turbo, is my guy. I'm excited to see him. I think we're going to see a lot of him during the preseason. And, he's been involved a bit in the 2s and the 3s. He's got a couple snaps with the 1s. So with Scattaboo being out, dealing with whatever his injury is, which Daboll said again today that it's not long-term. So I think we're going to see a lot of Turbo, and I'm excited to see him make some plays with the ball in his hands. He is always fun to watch. And lastly is Evan Neal. Evan Neal is likely to get a lot of reps at right guard. How does he look in a game? Does he get nervous? Does he look like he's reverting back to the old Neal where it seems like he doesn't really know what he's doing out there, and he's got, bad footwork and can't move quickly and can't pull and can't do all the things that, he did badly as a tackle, but was seeming to improve upon having been moved to guard. So Neal, number 73, let's go, buddy. Show us what you got. We're all rooting you on. I think the best case scenario is that Evan Neal is good enough throughout preseason that he beats out GVR, right? Like that's the best case scenario for everyone involved. It's a Mekhi Becton scenario, one that I think we all would be thrilled with. So excited to definitely watch a bit of Evan Neal and see what he's capable of doing. Let's move along to the defense, because I think the biggest thing with the defense for everyone is the run defense. Obviously a huge problem last year. The Giants made some good additions this year, but a lot of the additions that they made are starters, and I don't think we're going to see them this weekend. So we're probably not going to see Burns. We're definitely not going to see Lawrence. I don't think we're going to see Hunt, Newbin, Phillips. We're going to see, except for Abdul. I think he's going to be one of the only starting defensive players we see on Saturday. And at that rate, we might not even see him for a lot of time. So I'm excited to watch him. But when it comes to the run D standpoint, obviously Lawrence. So that I think our defensive tackles are going to be Roy Robertson Harris and Nacho to start. I think we will see both of them, though we might not see them for a long time. Elijah Chapman and Darius Alexander are two other guys that I think are going to be fun to watch, I hope. And that, I know a lot of us are focused on, especially a guy like Darius Alexander, who was a really good draft pickup this year, who dealt with some sort of injury. Again, no one knows what it is. Dealt with some sort of injury this spring, missed OTAs, missed mini camp, but now is going to have the opportunity in preseason to show us, one of the reasons why the Giants drafted him. And part of that is he able to help stop the run? So really excited about Darius Alexander. Definitely a guy to watch this weekend. Next up, from a linebacker perspective, because that's obviously going to be a huge portion as to whether or not the Giants can stop the run. Again, we're probably not going to see Bobby O, and we're not going to see Micah McFadden. But last year, we did see a good amount of Darius Muasau, who was a rookie. And I think that we're going to see a lot of him and Deontay Johnson in preseason on Saturday. So if, God forbid, Bobby O or Micah gets injured, how do Darius Muasau and Deontay Johnson look? Do they look like they're good at tackling? They're good at closing gaps. They're able to make a play on the ball. Can they get a pass breakup here? Maybe an interception there. Are they capable of doing any or all of those things and able to step in if, God forbid, one of those guys gets injured and okay, we're not all of a sudden going to get blown up everywhere because we don't have one or two of our starting linebackers on the field. So excited to watch those guys. Lastly, let's talk about the secondary, because I actually think there's going to be a lot of good competition in this game. So again, I think there's one starter that we're going to see, and it's going to be either Cordell Flott or Tay Banks. There is a possibility that we see both of them. The only reason why I'm not sold on that is because Cordell Flott was dealing with some sort of injury. Again, no one knows, some sort of injury last week. I'm like a broken record, but Daboll never specified what it was, and he was on the side during practice the last couple of days. So is that one of the reasons why we don't see Cordell Flott? Possibly. I think if that's the case, we're probably not going to see Deontay Banks. I think we're going to see Banks in with the starters during the Jets next week. I think that's probably when we'll see him out with the rest of the starting offense. But we did see a really big rotation where both of those guys were getting a lot of snaps with the twos during camp. So again, I don't really know what the deal is with Flott, but I think the injury probably weighs more than anything else as to whether or not we're going to see him on Saturday. If Banks is on the field, obviously, does he turn his head around? He got an interception during practice this week, guys. He did it. He also, I went back and looked because I was pretty certain he's never had an interception. He had 2 his rookie year, which I know all of us seem to have blacked out because it's shocking to look back and see that statistic, but it's a true one. It's real. And of course he had 0 last year. So, he's done it before. Can he do it again? Can he build upon the success that he's having at camp where he's had these pass breakups? He's kept up well with Malik Neighbors when he's had to cover him. He was able to have an interception. Can he build on that and take it a step forward? Shane Bowen was asked about what he's looking for when it comes to evaluating these guys during preseason. He said, do they play with effort? Is that something that Deonte Banks does, even though it's a preseason game, if he gets out there? Can we see his fundamentals, which is the second thing that Shane Bowen listed? And the third thing that Shane Bowen listed is, can they get takeaways? And that is what I want to see, whether it's Tay Banks or it's Art Green or it's anyone else that we're going to talk about. So with that being said, let's switch gears to some more of like the second string guys. So Art Green has done a nice job throughout camp as a corner. He's mostly been on the outside. So he has been he's done a relatively nice job. He had an incredible one-handed interception on Jameis Winston. That was a thing of beauty, and had a couple pass breakups. So can he take it a step further, improve upon that during preseason? Next up is Trey Hawkins, who we've seen a bit of over the last couple of years. 6th round pick, pretty low expectations, another outside corner, but can he make some plays on the ball? He actually has quietly been having a pretty decent camp. So can he take it a step further in preseason? Last two guys, then we're going to wrap it up here. So Nick Jones, you guys know I've been talking a lot about cornerback Nick Jones. He right now is the number 2 behind Drew Phillips as the slot corner. We don't have another cornerback who is in that position if, God forbid, Drew Phillips goes down. And Jones has done a really nice job during camp. So again, can he build upon that? Can he show off those skills at the NFL level during a preseason game when you're not going against the same guys you've been going against every single day? So Nick Jones is a guy that I'm really excited about, and I want to see him continue that throughout preseason. Last up is, of course, O'Donnell Fortune, a former Gamecock, just like myself. I met him at camp. He's extremely nice, and he's a tall dude, and he seems pretty athletic. So he right now is listed as the 4th outside corner, but I want to see what he can do. He's been a little quiet during camp, but now during preseason, I expect that he's going to get a decent amount of playing time. So let's see if he can make a name for himself, if he can show that he deserves a spot on this roster or on this practice squad. And I'm excited to see more of him. So that's it, guys. Giants take on the Bills on Sunday, less than 48 hours from now. I cannot wait. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. There's a lot more to come. It's football season. I can't wait. We're going to be talking Giants week in and week out. So subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, share with your Giants friends, and stay tuned for more.